that should have been called that wasn't called, or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
How fragile are these guys? It's amazing. They're supposed to be the greatest athletes in the world, and yet they can't walk and chew gum at the same time without getting hurt, for goodness sakes.
That Trout injury really is a bummer, too, because people thought he was going to have a big year. And I look, I don't feel bad for the Angels. I don't like Mike Trout in Anaheim. I thought he should have left when his contract was up.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Devastating loss to Georgia Tech, where they made significant coaching errors, but Miami, with all of these changes, obviously looking to churn over this roster and upgrade the talent level.
Don't sleep on Rick Pitino. Listen, at the end of the day, the portal is the portal, Mike. Don't matter where you came from, it's where you're going and how much money can you get.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
And now you have to qualify in these majors. You got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for. So I don't like the pettiness, and I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. Mm-hmm. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast.
And we are back for Coast to Coast, hour number 3 here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty. Great to have everybody with us here. We'll have Rick Haro this hour. We got Adam Caplan this hour. We have all the baseball we have to get to. I got football for Joe, too. And not just like a little pop-in, Joe. Not just like a little 3 minutes at the end. I got a lot to do because, Joe, that schedule comes out tomorrow night, and they've been giving you some like drips and drabs here over the last day and a half of when these week 1 and primetime games and all this stuff. So I have that for you, Joe. So you'll be happy because I saw put out all those times for the college games too, Joe. Did you like that? Notre Dame, Texas A&M, prime time Saturday night in week number 1 under the lights at College Station to watch Riley Leonard rip up the Aggies. I mean, I can't wait for that, Joe. I mean, that's going to be exciting.
Gotta hope that happens. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble this year with your head coach, Marcus Freeman. We'll see how that plays out. Mike Elko trying to bring back, the heydays of Texas A&M football, which, by the way, Texas A&M fans are ridiculous. When's the last time they actually won a national championship? They didn't win a natty with Johnny Manziel. They went to a bowl game against Duke. So pump the brakes on, this heritage of Texas A&M football. They didn't win with Jimbo Fisher. They didn't win with Kevin Sumlin. They didn't win back in the heyday with R.C. Slocum or even Jackie Sherrill, for that matter. So, the Holiday Bowl or bust. But people think in Texas A&M and College Station that they should just be granted a national championship because they have money.
Well, Mike Sherman, Joe. Mike Sherman didn't get it done?
Gutless Mike Sherman. That's the only reason why Ryan Tannehill is in the NFL right now, because Mike Sherman decided to transition Ryan Tannehill from a wide receiver to a quarterback, and when he got the job in Miami, he took his ass to South Beach. Thanks.
I knew that Mike Sherman would fire you up, Joe. Anytime you bring up Mike Sherman around Joe, Joe gets fired up.
Ryan Swoop was the heyday of, Jamar Toombs. Don't get me going. Kevin Murray was one of the best Texas A&M quarterbacks back in the day.
This is why you're the encyclopedia of college football. I mean, you're laying it all out.
Give me the old days. Quentin Coriat, Marcus Buckley.
I even saw
Bucky Richardson.
I saw they even got
Texas A&M football. Wrecking Crew.
They even got a TV deal for the Pac-2. I just saw announced today. They And you get all those Pac-2 games on TV with Oregon State and Washington State.
Is that what we're calling it now? I haven't asked people in the industry. We're going to call it the Pac-2?
The Pac-2. I mean,
how about double-fisted? Let's just call it double-fisted.
Whatever you want to call it, Joe, they're going to have games on the CW every Saturday night. You're going to get a little CW action with those two teams. All right, a few things. I know, Joe, tomorrow's Golf Wednesday. It is a major week. We have the PGA Championship that is coming up. Look at that. There's the chalk for it right there with Scotty and Rory and Brooks and all the big heavy him. Actually, there was a few things that happened today, Joe, of somewhat significance involving these guys at the top. First of all, Scheffler's caddy is like leaving on Friday night. What did I think Luke told me he's got? I haven't seen this. This came out since we started the show. I guess Ted Scott's got to go to a high school graduation, college graduation, high school graduation. I don't know where Ted Scott's got to go, but he's leaving Friday night and coming back Saturday night. So Scotty Scheffler's going to lose his caddy on Saturday. Combine that, Joe, with the fact that he probably hasn't slept much the last 2 weeks with a new baby at home. So things kind of working a little bit against Scotty Scheffler going into this week. And then you have the Rory story this morning that which made a lot of news, that he filed for divorce from his wife after 7 years of marriage. And immediately, Joe, I saw all these people say, oh, well, how's he going to win this week with all that on his mind? Joe, he just won on Sunday at the Wells Fargo. He won in New Orleans 2 weeks before that. Do you think he just woke up this morning or Monday morning and decided to divorce the wife? You don't think, Joe, that was maybe in the works for a couple of weeks? You think he just woke up and boom, it was done? He's probably had this on his mind, and he's played some pretty good golf the last couple of weeks. Joe, this is not even factoring in for me anything with Rory this week that story came out this morning. None whatsoever.
I mean, you can't say no. It's happened in the past.
None.
Maybe he woke up, he won a couple events, and all of a sudden he started thinking he got his fastball back, you know?
I don't think so.
That's it, chopped. That's it. Maybe that's the way he woke up. You can't say no, Carver. I will say this. The caddy just proves that they're useless, right? I mean, if the caddy's not going to be there, on Saturday, well, then just grab somebody off the street. I mean,
let's see how he plays on Saturday then. I mean, listen, Joe, caddies are important.
I could be
at the end of the day.
The wind's coming in from the north.
The golfer's the one hitting the ball. At the end of the day, the golfer's the one hitting the ball, Joe. We understand that. I know you think that these guys get a little too much credit. You don't like when people get credit when they shouldn't get enough of it. So you don't like the caddies. You think the caddies get a little too much juice.
I think I could be a good caddy. I do. And Scheffler should ask me, Lise, what are we doing on 9? Hang on, I'll Google it.
Can you imagine you trying to get down there and give him the reads on one of those greens, or you trying to let him know the distance to the bunker on the left fairway? I could just see you out there.
I could tell him, hang on, use the woods. I might be looking at the eye candy in the stands. That could be a problem for me.
That would be what you'd be doing too. I wanted to give you this as well. Tiger's here this week. He only plays in the majors now, as we know. He's at Valhalla.
He likes the eye candy.
A place that he likes the eye candy as well. In fact, Joe, Tiger sporting a little goatee this week. It's been making the rounds throughout the internet. Here we go.
The internet is loving the goatee. Was that a conscious choice or laziness? And is it here all week?
It's the second. I'm definitely lazy.
No, you're not. You're trying to put on the...
Cut myself this morning trying to trim it up.
He knows he's got no shot to win, so he's looking for the bar. That's what it is when he goes to the bar.
Joe,
the eye candy.
in commentary by him during that press conference that matters, he actually did say, like he says it before every major, I'm here because I still think I can win major championships. He did say that again, and as I say to you every time, he's got no shot to win this week. No shot.
Why do you got to hit the guy? Why do you got to hit the guy like that?
I like when Tiger's there. I think it adds a little something extra to the week. I don't mind it, but I'm not going to be foolish to get involved in all these crazy bets with Tiger. There's only one bet, Joe, that's probably worth playing with Tiger, and that's to make the cut bet. That's it. And he's like plus 140 this week to make the cut because this is a tough track. You can get me in on that because he has shown going to play well on Thursday and Friday. going to be dragging himself around on Saturday and Sunday, and he's not going to finish well. I don't mind playing him to make the cut at plus 140, Joe, if you want to do that, but that's it for me.
How about first-round leader?
No.
Why?
No.
You just said
he's not going to be the first-round leader, Joe.
Why
he's
not?
not going to be the first-round leader.
I said it. You know what? He's getting my money. You know what? He likes the eye candy. So do I.
Listen, I did this with you. I did this to you with the Masters, too. You got roped in. I got you all hyped up about Tiger, and you played all these bets with Tiger. And what happened to him on Saturday and Sunday?
Smashed.
No good.
That's
Angie, you no good. Can't have it. But what did he make the cut? He did.
Made the cut.
I
don't like. I'll tell you this: you're treating me like a rookie when it comes to the golf, and maybe I am.
No, I'm not.
But just remember, you're treating me like Carlito's way. You are.
You're
put
guys
around
on the
like
map
Carlito,
this year.
And maybe
you
I'm
got a few guys
Benny
that
Blanco.
you put on the map.
Maybe I'm Benny
Who'd you put on the map
just
this
remember,
year?
Who got the last laugh? Who got the last laugh? Benny.
Nicky Dunlap. You put him on the map this year, right? Who? Nicky Dunlap. Alejandro Tosti, Bo Hostler. This is your crew. These are your guys. You've got them. I just don't think any of them are going to be anywhere near winning this week. Not at the PGA Championship. All right, we'll come back with our sports business and legal insider, Rick Harrell, Ferrall Coast to Coast, next on the grid.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Every missed call, the entire game, whether it's a charge or a block or a deflection that was wrong or a foul that should have been called that wasn't called or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back from Coast to Coast here on a Tuesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. Of course, we have our sports business and legal insider, Rick Harrell, with us every week here on Coast to Coast. Rick, good to see you as always on a Tuesday too, which I always love. I thought you'd be heading to Sunrise tonight to watch the Panthers close out the Boston Bruins, but plans change, and you're going somewhere even better tomorrow, somewhere I wish I was going, that's for sure.
No, that's right. My contract is I need to spend at least 2 nights a week with my dog. It's part of my custody agreement. So he and I are going to watch the Panthers tonight, and then heading out to Valhalla. We've got some golf in the mornings, No, we got some golf late in the afternoons, and we've got some on the course at Valhalla in the mornings, and I'll be available to provide some commentary. It is a difficult course. But by the way, to hear you and Lisi talk golf, I'm not sure that's your highest calling. Let's put it that way. At least the two of you. And so, I agree. You need both of you to tango. And I would totally agree with you about Tiger. But I would like him to show up. I'd like Tiger to make the cut.
Today's not usually Wednesdays. Wednesday's a big golf show around here, Rick. I know you don't know that. I've got Keith Stewart, we've got Cam, we got all the picks, we have everything that go. We get ourselves ready. So that was like we give Joe a little taste on a Tuesday, especially on a major week with some big stories that came out today with Rory and with Scheffler, etc. With all of these guys. We have a few things here. You actually have this first on the list this week, and tonight is opening night for the WNBA. Yeah. Why is that significant this year, Rick, as opposed to other years? Well, the Caitlin Clark effect. And this goes from not just the TV deals you're talking about here. They're getting charter flights now, or at least I heard the Indiana Fever's getting charter flights. Everyone else hasn't exactly gotten theirs yet. But this is a new day and age for the WNBA starting tonight with Caitlin Clark in the league.
By the way, shameless promotion. Remember Annie Myers-Drysdale? She's in the book. She's a wonderful pioneer of women's basketball. But in the olden days, UCLA, her brother, her other brothers. By the way, she signed with the Pacers, a free agent contract. The first woman to do so in 1976. Didn't make the team, but she sure could shoot. And, she is now a Caitlin Clark fan and told the story about how everybody understood how important it was to do the charter flights and got a taste of it last year with Brittany Griner after their Russia release. And you can't send a 6'10" person who is that popular commercial. And they did the same thing with Caitlin Clark. So if that's one of the very small breakthroughs, the salary allocations will be changed. The ticket is an incredibly tough ticket. And what I wrote, by the way, is that at least 17, probably double that of the Fever games will be televised on local Indianapolis television, completely independent of the Pacers, which is incredible. And then the networks are picking up not only in Indy, but in Iowa, which makes a lot of sense because of her following in college, and in Ohio, and a lot of other places. So her impact starts with just playing well for the Fever, but it goes way, way, way beyond that.
And they've got things that, Rick, they've never had before. Like, I'll give you an example. This morning I was throwing the Disney Plus on for the kids, in the living room before school. And there it was. It popped right up. Not on, on ESPN Plus, on Disney Plus. Caitlin Clark, Fever game tonight, Disney Plus. So they are pumping this all over the place, Rick. And they are going to get a lot of mileage out of her being in that league now. Next for you here, this Utah owner for the NHL. This guy's pretty smart. Now, he wants to get the fans involved, obviously. He's going to play the first season with just Utah on the jersey, and then he's going to make him get another jersey with the new mascot and logo on it the year after that. Nice job by him.
Not only nice job by him, brilliant job by him. And, the Commanders kind of backed into that with the Washington Football Club, but then they chose the Commanders. Now they're going to try to figure out how to unchoose the Commanders and choose somebody else. This is a deliberate, intentional marketing device. What he's also doing is surveying everybody in Utah about what kind of sports they like: winter, summer, hockey, Winter Olympics. He's developing a $3 billion plaza that'll include a new arena for the Jazz and this team, preserving the medal stand. A not so subtle hint: we want to get the Winter Olympics back in Salt Lake City. Guy's spending, he says, $3 billion. He needs some public money, but he's going to get it with that amount of private money staked for it. And this is going to be a bigger impact for this town than even the Golden Knights were in Vegas, which is saying something.
It's deja vu all over again, at least for the last couple of weeks here in New York with the Knicks and the Rangers. Although, as we've said here on today's show, Rick, that car has blown a little bit of a tire here in the last 48 hours with the Knicks now 2-2 going home on fumes, and the Rangers now, after being up 3-0, 3-2 back to Carolina. But still, everyone's having a good time here. It wasn't going to be easy here at the Garden.
No, but I thought you were referring to something else that I referred to in my memo. You remember the day that the Rangers won their first title in, 54 years?
Yes.
That weekend was the same thing, same as what? The famous Bronco car chase, O.J. Simpson, 94. Nobody remembers that. The bottom line was that was the captivating headline everywhere in the country, including New York. The beloved Knicks, Pacers, that was a big deal. But how about the Rangers and their Stanley Cup championship? Yeah, let's not consider ourselves blowing the tire yet, but we realize that it is possible. And in the meantime, the last quarter results for Madison Square Garden on a profitability index is up 23%. So like or not like Dolan and the family, the Knicks and the Rangers are doing quite well.
With only a minute left, Rick, I think Ferrall would be upset if I didn't at least bring up Paul Skeens making his debut for the Pirates last Saturday and what that means for the Pirates and the city of Pittsburgh.
Who? Look, people in Pittsburgh have nowhere else to go. All right, Scotty, if you're listening, and I know you're not because you're playing basketball, I'm pretty sure. Nobody has anywhere to go in Pittsburgh. There's nothing else going on. Your Penguins aren't in the playoffs, okay? The Steelers are off season. And, yeah, the guy's a great pitcher, but these guys come along once every 30 years that are Haley's Comet, and hopefully he'll be better than what Strasburg ended up doing. But, look, Pirates need something, and admittedly, he is that something.
We will talk to you tonight, Rick, on Carver and Lisi, where we'll talk about Anthony Edwards' shoes and your itinerary at Valhalla over the next couple days. And the Bills and the Dolphins playing week 2 down by you, the first Amazon game on Thursday. So we'll do that tonight on the radio. We're back coast to coast after this.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Every missed call, the entire game, whether it's a charge or a block or a deflection that was wrong or a foul that should have been called that wasn't called or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back for Coast to Coast here on a Tuesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. All right, Joe, how about the baseball now that we can get to? This afternoon, Phillies did beat the Mets 4-0. That's a final. And the White Sox and the Nats are playing that doubleheader in Chicago. They're going to the 4th. 1-0 White Sox on an Eloy Jimenez homer. So that is underway. We have games tonight. Last night, Joe, Jays beat the Orioles in 10. So no over there I thought that we might get. Rays beat the Red Sox. Braves beat the Cubs, but Imanaga pitched very well for Chicago. Brian Reynolds had 5 hits for the Pirates, including a homer. They beat the Brewers. Astros beat the A's 9-2. Alex Bregman had 2 homers in that game. And the Dodgers did beat the Giants 6-4 in 10 innings. Will Smith with the go-ahead hit in the 10th, Joe. What game did you have the over in last night? Was it the Cardinal game?
Yeah,
the Cards beat the Angels last night. Cardinals
smash
beat the
special. Told you it was smash special.
Yeah, you were all over.
And I said it was a wheel play. It was a wheel play.
And the Rockies won their 5th in a row. Rockies have the longest win streak in Major League Baseball after beating the Padres last night 5-4. I suspect that might end tonight as they're going to face Cease out there at Petco. Let's get to tonight, Joe. Toronto and Baltimore again at Camden Yards. Tonight it'll be the Bassett Hound going up against Kyle Bradish. Right now, Orioles minus 165, plus $1.40 for the Jays. Another 7.5 here, Joe. I didn't get it last night. I kind of want to go back to this over here. I just feel like these bats are going to come alive on both sides at some point. We've got some Orioles with some really good numbers against the Bassett Hound. I feel like that's where I want to live, Joe.
I'm going with the Bassett Hound. You know why? Because I'm talking my position. I have Toronto at plus 106 to make the playoffs. Well. It's up to plus 182. They're going to make from July 4th on, they could be the hottest team going. Right after the All-Star break. It starts right here now before Memorial Day. I'm taking the Bassett Hound, and I'm taking the points. I'm taking the plus 140. Give me the 1.5. Give me anything you want, Carver. Smash play.
Talk in your position. You're letting the future do the talking, huh, Joe? Letting the future do the talking tonight in Baltimore.
That's it.
The 11-32 Marlins are still in Detroit against the Tigers tonight. Ryan Weathers and Reese Olson are the starters. Tigers are minus $1.75, plus 145 for the Fish, and a flat 8. I like the over, Joe. This dude Weathers has been hammered this year on Miami. I think the Tigers can clear this 8 by themselves tonight.
Tigers and over. I'm with you. Tigers and over. Maybe that's a C&L play. C&L play.
Might have to be. I'll put that over in there for tonight. Absolutely, Joe. The Rays are in Boston against the Sox. It'll be Aaron Savali and Nick Pivetta going tonight. Red Sox minus 115. Rays minus 105. A flat 9 here tonight. So once again, Joe, they're looking for runs in Fenway.
Well, if there's one thing I know, Carver, it's almost like putting a little pinch between your cheek and gum, right? Remember that back in the day? Put a little pinch between your cheek and gum. Over. Tampa Bay always smashes Boston, and they always play wild games, whether it be in the Trop or whether it be in Fenway. We're going up, 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 and away. 9+ runs. 9+. Not you, me. I said it.
I like it, Joe. I got one of the Rays for Tater Time coming up here, so I'm going to be with you for the home run ball. The Cubs are in Atlanta against the Braves. You've got Jameson Shots-Tyone against Chris Sale tonight. Braves minus $1.90, plus 155 for the Cubbies, and a flat 8 here as well.
Let's take a shot with the Cubbies as dogs. Let's take a shot. Want to take a shot? Come on, everybody's going to be on the Braves. Everybody's going to be on the Braves.
Everybody's going to be on the Braves, of course. All right, Joe, I'll take a shot with the Cubs with you. Why not?
All right, good.
You can get me in on that. The Pirates will have Quinn Priester tonight against Joe Ross in Milwaukee against the Brewers, who are minus 165. Buccos plus $1.40 and an 8.5 total here. Pirates beat them last night, Joe. I'm going back to the Pirates again with Quinn Priester tonight.
Yeah, you're going to fall prey here. It's Brew Crew and the under. Brew Crew and the under tonight.
All right. I got the rest of the games, Joe. I will give those to you after I talk to Adam. So we'll finish the baseball later this hour. I've got some NFL that we're going to get. A lot of NFL to finish the show. We'll talk to Adam about the schedule. I got some stuff for Joe. Come on, Joe. We got plenty of football nuggets for you before we get out of here today. Fro Coast to Coast. We're back on the grid right after this.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, Just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Every missed call, the entire game, whether it's a charge or a block or a deflection that was wrong or a foul that should have been called that wasn't called or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
Sort of
Night.
has letdown written all. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast, here on a Tuesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. Of course, always great to have our SportsGrid NFL insider, Adam Caplan, with us here. And look, Adam, we know this. Good to see you as always, by the way. The NFL never sleeps. It really doesn't. Maybe there's like a 5-week period from the 1st of June to the middle of July where maybe the league sleeps a little bit. But for the most part, it always goes. And it's gotten so big, Adam, that the process of releasing the schedule has become almost as big as anything else that they do throughout the calendar year. And it looks like we are finally going to get that tomorrow night. It was supposed to be last week, and now tomorrow night is when we're finally going to get the NFL schedule.
Yeah, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, Mike, it's really interesting. So covering this business now 25 years. Everybody knows who's going to be playing each other. You just don't know when they're going to be playing them. And the prime time, it's talking to people from the business side of the NFL, it's such a badge of honor when you get like 5 prime time games. And let's see your team who's just on its way up. That's a sign of respect. And it's great for marketing and awareness. And the teams that only get 1 or 2, you kind of know that the league doesn't think a lot of them for that particular season for whatever reason. But I always caution fans, you're going to see some teams and games where you go, why are they in prime time? Because they're a so-called national team, like the Giants. The Giants are going to get primetime games. Why? Because they're one of the top media markets in the country. They will get a big number because Giant fans are everywhere and they get a big number. They're big media markets. So that's the thing that I warn fans about. There are going to be some, when it's announced tomorrow night, you're going to be like, what? I don't get it. Well, because that team, like the Giants, or we'll get into some of those other teams, the league loves the fact that they have a strong following across the country.
I'll give you a prime example of this before you move on to the next thing. I feel like for the last 2 or 3 years, people have really complained a lot about how many primetime games the Bears have had, right? But you got to remember, the Bears are in Chicago. It's one of the biggest media markets in the country and for the league. And whether the Bears are good or not, they're going to put the Bears in some primetime games. And I would guess, Adam, when we get this thing tomorrow night, you'll see the Bears again, not just because they're the Bears, but they're going to want to showcase the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
100%. In fact, what they like to do is sometimes, let's say you get the number 1 pick overall and the number 2 pick overall, and they happen to be quarterbacks. that probably will be a primetime game, even if the teams aren't projected to be good. Now, that might be, like a game late in the season where they could flex it. Who knows what the case may be. But I could tell you from talking to the league, one of the things they do, and look, you can't always get it right when you're projecting these things, but they actually do try to project who are going to be the hot teams. So when the Lions shockingly got the first game last year against the defending champs, the Chiefs, people are like, are you kidding me? But I remember we were talking last spring. The Lions were my breakout team. The league looks at this. You can't always get it right, but they do kind of look at who are the up-and-coming teams. Now, one of the teams tomorrow night, I would expect to get probably at least 3. We'll see if I'm right. It's the Houston Texans. They're my breakout team this year. They're the team you sold C.J. Stroud. Very aggressive offseason. The trade for your guy, Stephon Diggs, from Buffalo to Houston. That's what they're looking for. The team, a young and up-and-coming team, they nailed it with the Lions last year. I'm not saying the Texans are going to get 5, but it would not surprise me if they at least got 3 primetime games.
When, Adam, exactly does this process start? Is this something where the season ends and the crew that puts this together, and there's a lot of, obviously, computerized schedules, they go through thousands of them. When does this process start, and how does the league get to where they are tomorrow night?
Mike, I think I find this hard to believe, but hey, this is what the league. It might be like quadrillion. It's Mike North, who's been there forever. I've heard him and Howard Katz. I've heard them speak about it. Howard's been a TV executive for decades, and he's gotten involved in the scheduling process over the last 20 years or so. And they start after the season is over. They tweak. They've got the scheduling model from Amazon Web Services, which they use, and they tweak it. They get now. One of the things they have to do is, and it's communication with the clubs, Mike, is super important. They want to know what the conflicts are. They got to make sure the stadiums are available. Also, another thing, and this happens depending on the market, even if most stadiums are not shared with a baseball team or anyone else, but let's say in the area you've got, let's say the football stadium is in the area where the hockey and basketball and baseball teams play, all the pro teams.
Kansas City.
You don't,
like Kansas City and Baltimore.
Philly, right, Kansas City, Philly, other markets. You don't want to schedule an NFL game when all 3 teams are playing. Oh, and by the way, a major concert. This has happened. It doesn't happen a lot, but the clubs the clubs want to give this information so they get the schedule right. And also, this is a big thing. I remember talking to Joe Banner, the former Eagles and Browns president, about this. Travel's a big thing. The league wants competitive fairness. I remember one year, the Eagles, for some reason, let's say they played a Sunday night game, they wound up traveling on a Wednesday to Seattle. You can't ask a team on a short week who just played Sunday night to travel. That's, by the way, that's like a 6-hour flight from Philly to Seattle, and it didn't work out well. And I know the league heard about that. And the league does a great job of making sure there's not a competitive advantage. But it's well rested versus teams on less rest. You don't want anyone to get that competitive advantage. And Mike, divisional rivalries are big. Obviously, Dallas and Washington, the Eagles in Dallas, your Bills, and well, if New England would happen to be good, you knew that would have been a huge primetime game. But in travel requirements, you want to be careful how much you're having people travel and what time of the year. And again, stadium availability. So there's all those factors, Mike, are taken into when they make the schedule out.
And now you have some other things as well, Adam, that are kind of newer to this process, I would have to imagine. And that includes how many different television partners the league has now, especially when you start getting late in the year with these streaming games. And now isn't Netflix involved on Christmas Day, and Amazon's involved, and this place is involved. I'm sure a league wants to make sure all their partners get at least one really, really great game at some point in the season, a high-level game.
And you remember, Mike, when you and I grew up, it was real simple. CBS got one conference, and the other network and Fox would get the NFC. They don't do that anymore. They now, what happens is, though, there's a bargaining session. Like they go back and forth. Everybody, the top 2 partners obviously want to get the best games, no question about it. And obviously ESPN for Monday Night Football, they're going to have a say in it. So yeah, you're right, Mike. It's. I would love to know what those talks are like about how they go back and forth with the league, and they want to be treated with respect. And I know the schedule makers, Mike North and Howard Katz, they have to go through this. It's not easy. Everybody wants to have the best games, but thank goodness for the flex schedule in which we get later in the season, because nobody wants a dud. You can't get everything right when you make a schedule out. A team that we think is going to be great suffers like they lose 6 starters. Well, of course they're not going to overcome that, and the team is not as good as we thought. That's why they'll flex the team out later in the season.
And we've already had some little drips and drabs, Adam, the last day or two about some of these huge games to start the year. And just looking at the defending champs, the Chiefs, they start the year both games at home and against the Ravens and the Bengals. Like, that's some start to the year for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
So, Mike, they also like quarterback versus quarterback. The Bengals are not a national team. We know in the last 4 or 5 years they've been pretty good. They're fun to watch. The league loves offense, Mike. So obviously with Mahomes and Burrow, you're going to see that. And by the way, they've had an unbelievable rivalry. That's another part of this. We know the history of the Bengals and Chiefs in the playoffs has been fascinating. The league loves the history of the game. There's no question about it. And another thing is, like, the Raiders and the Chiefs, we know about the AFL. When the Raiders are good and the Raiders get great again, Mike, you're going to see them in the future be in primetime.
You will. 10 seconds, Adam. Are the Bills just going to pick up every wide receiver off the street and have like 20 of them at camp and hope one of them hits after getting MVS today?
He can run. Yeah, MVS is there. Yep.
Adam, great job as always. Adam Caplan, our SportsGrid NFL insider. We're back after this.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that minus 115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
That because he's going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Every missed call, the entire game, whether it's a charge or a block or a deflection that was wrong or a foul that should have been called that wasn't called or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Tuesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Good to have you with us. Joe, we're going to finish the baseball here, and then I have some more NFL for you off of what the stuff me and Adam are talking about. We mentioned the Blue Jays and the Orioles, Joe. You can cross that one off for tonight with the Basset Hound, as they have some weather in Baltimore, postponed, makeup date July 29th. So they are not going to be playing in Baltimore tonight. There is a doubleheader in Chicago. We told you it's 1-0. White Sox lead the Nationals. They're going to play the second game, Joe, right after. Mitchell Parker and Eric Fetty are going to be the starters in that one. Minus 115 again for the Nats, minus 105 for the White Sox, similar to game one. Also similar, Joe, is a 7.5 in game number two. Now, this first game, Joe's a dead under, 1-0 in the fifth inning.
Let's take a shot on the over in game two. I mean, they're going to have the B guys out there, right? So let's take a shot. What happened?
They're going to have the big guys out there?
What happened to back in the day when you used to play double headers and they play, you used to have like all the greats playing, Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs, all the best back in the mid-'80s, '90s. Wade Boggs and Tony Gwynn.
I used to go to the game for a nickel, and then I'd get a soda for 10 cents. Sit in left field.
Chet Lemon.
We're a long way from those days, Joe. Long way from those days. Now you go to the game, and it's fast and loose. Get them in and out of there as fast as possible. Spend as much money as possible. That's how it goes at the ballpark now. Yankees are in Minnesota tonight, Joe, to open up a series. Carlos Rodon and Chris Paddock are our starters for this one. The Yankees, minus 120 road favorites, even money for the Twins, and an 8.5 total.
I like the Yankees, but they always smash the Twins, so let's take the Yankees in the over tonight.
They do, for the most part, over the last 20-plus years, smash the Twins. I know last year that kind of changed a little bit. We'll see if the Yankees can get back to doing that to Minnesota. Guardians are in Texas again against the Rangers. They beat them last night, Ben Lively and Jack Leiter. Leiter has not been good the first couple times he's been out for his Major League career. But he's a favorite tonight, minus $120. Even money for the Guardians and a flat 9. I love this over, Joe, and I like the Guardians tonight.
I'm with you. I like the over, but I'll take this shot with the Guardians tonight as well. I have no feel in terms of the side.
No feel for the side. Let's just take the over, Joe. These guys are going to get lit up. It's gas can night down in Arlington. Oakland is in Houston tonight against the Astros. J.P. Sears and Roebuck against Ronel Blanco here. Astros minus 175, plus $1.45 for the A's, and an 8.5 total here. Give me the A's tonight, Joe, at plus 145.
No shot. I'm not going to lay
the
175.
Shot. You're saying
I'm going to lay
shot.
This is where Houston gets right. When you have a garbage team come to your H-Town, you smash them with a billy club. Lay the 1.5. It's Houston minus the 1.5 runs and over. You got no shot. Absolutely
very
no shot. Don't even waste it. Don't save your money. Put it on a pack. Put it on a pack of gum. Put it with the golf. Just don't put it on this game.
We'll have to see. The Cardinals are in Anaheim again against the Angels. We got way over the total here last night, Joe, 15 runs. Sonny Gray and Reed Detmers tonight, minus 140 for the Redbirds, plus $1.20 for the Angels. 7.5 the total tonight.
Up, and away. And I don't care that the Cards have been playing unders. They broke out a little Goldschmidt in your life. Goldschlager, Goldschmidt, over. Homer. Tater time for Frank Goldschmidt.
Tater time. The Reds are in Arizona again. Hunter Green against Slate. Ciccone, minus 120 for Arizona. Even money for the Reds and an 8.5. This guy, Ciccone, is a gas can, Joe. I'm on the Reds tonight and the over.
Dela Cruz? Tater time?
Yeah. Oh, Ellie's on tater time. We're going to get there. Ellie's tater time tonight.
2+
Absolutely.
Bases? 2+ bases? A ribby?
Put it with the golf, baby. Let it fly. Tee it high and let it fly for the Reds tonight against Slade Ciccone. Rockies and the Padres. Rockies have won 5 in a row. The problem for them is they're facing Dylan Cease tonight, who's been excellent for San Diego, who's minus 3 Bills tonight, Joe. Plus 240 for the Rockies and a flat 7 total.
Yeah, I'm going to take a shot with the Rockies. I don't care that Cease is pitching. It makes no difference to me. I don't care how good he is. You take the hot team, they got a shot somehow, some way. Maybe they knock him out in the 5th.
Maybe they do. The Royals are in Seattle against the Mariners. Waka 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 against What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Logan Gilbert. Mariners minus 160, plus 135 for the Royals. Another flat 7, Joe. Low totals here at the late night.
Yeah, we're going to go back to the under in Seattle, and I'll take a shot with the Royals tonight.
And finally, you're going to have the Dodgers and the Giants in San Francisco late night. Gavin Stone against Wynn, -190 for the Dodgers, +155 for the Giants, and an 8.5.
Oh, love the Giants tonight. Plus the 155 and the over. Giants and the over. They match up well against the Dodgers. I don't care that Ohtani's there. I don't care that Freeman's there. Give me the Gents.
I'll take the over, Joe. I'm not taking the Giants. I'm not going to get involved with them. That's
here
for
we
sure.
go.
Finally, quickly, Tater time for tonight. Here we go. Isak Paredes, +475. Why? 4 for 10 with 3 homers, Joe, off of Pavetta. You could scratch off Gunnar Henderson. They got washed away. Juan Soto has hit paddock well in his career, +360. We're taking Riley Green against that gas can Weathers on Miami at +7 Bills. And there he is, Joe. Ellie time. Ellie De La Cruz against Ciccone at +333 late night in Arizona. Tater time for a Tuesday night. I'll probably add a few more, Joe, when we start the radio show. Those late night games, I'm going after the Taters.
I could have told you that Ellie De La Cruz was in the portfolio. I should have been like an interrogator.
Well, it's a matchup
I should
tonight.
be working for the government. I would track
He's facing
him down
a righty.
in 2 seconds.
He's facing a righty that gives up bombs. I mean, that's 4 homers in 20 innings for Ciccone. He's a gas can. Him. All right, we'll come back, Joe, and I'll give you the football before we get out of here. Coast to coast on a Tuesday.
Look at the Denver Nuggets and say, whoa, just a week ago, they were that -115 or so price. Now we're looking at them at a 7-1 price. Any chances the Nuggets can actually come back?
I think this is going 6 or 7 games, so I think that could be a little bit of a tighter spread between those two. But when you got those two guys, those two monsters, and Towns and Edwards, it's just really hard.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Every missed call, the entire game, whether it's a charge or a block or a deflection that was wrong or a foul that should have been called that wasn't called or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Ferrall coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
Sports Rage
This
late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we're back, Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Tuesday. Carver High and Joe for Scotty here on SportsGrid. All right, BetMGM has you set up tonight. New betting market for the NHL playoffs. How about empty net goal markets? Are you kidding me? Entire slates as well as specific games. Find them in the BetMGM Sportsbook app under the NHL tab. Then in the props tab, you can also find the specific game markets under each game along with the NHL props tab. Look at that, plus 375 tonight for that. They've got the individual games as well. Canucks and the Oilers, team to get the empty net goal. BetMGM giving you another way to get involved in the NHL playoffs. You can only bet these at BetMGM, which is absolutely outstanding. All right, Joe. The NFL schedule, got the hockey on my mind, Joe. What can I do? NFL schedule will be released in full, allegedly, tomorrow night. You know how this always goes, Joe. They've already started giving you some of the early primetime games. I'm sure tomorrow morning and during the day, leaks here, leaks there, leaks everywhere. That's what you have so far, I believe. That's about as up-to-date as it gets. Ravens, Chiefs. We knew the Packers and the Eagles. Cowboys and Browns are the Week 1 425 game. The Jets and the Niners, the opening Monday night game. Bills and Dolphins, the first Amazon Thursday night game on Week 2. And Burrow and Mahomes, week number 2 as well, late game 425 in Kansas City. So, Joe, first thing that sticks out to me, Kansas City opening at home against the Ravens and the Bengals weeks 1 and 2. That's a tough start for Mahomes.
Yeah, and they could potentially start 0-2. We saw them lose to Detroit last year. So, and these are two teams in Baltimore and Cincinnati that have a ton to prove and have some question marks. For Cincinnati, is Joe Burrow 100% healthy week number 2? And for Lamar, can the passing attack take over when it counts? Forget September, October, November, December. When Lamar Jackson in Baltimore trailing potentially in the fourth quarter of a divisional or AFC championship game, can that passing attack come alive and save their ass? And that is still the question mark for the Baltimore Ravens that I still can't answer with the group that they have there at plus 490 to win the AFC. They might win week 1, but I don't know about their shots long-term, Carver.
I'm going to give you the spreads for all those games, Joe, tonight on Carver and Lisi. We're going to spend some time with this on the radio show tonight. I guarantee that. We'll also on the radio show tonight spend some time on the Bills picking up every single stray wide receiver on the street that they can find, including MVS, which they did today. I have to play this to Donnie Mitchell before we leave, though. Colts rookie wide receiver Donnie Mitchell. Now, remember, Joe, he fell in the draft. We had that clip of Ballard, talking about everybody talking bad about this kid. You think that he's holding a grudge about how far he fell in the NFL draft? Let's find out.
Just going through the whole process of the draft, seeing 10 receivers go before me, I definitely, once they told me that number was available, I originally picked another number, but then, I was just up late just thinking about it. Like I couldn't get it off my mind. And I was like, yeah, bro, let me get 10. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, I'm not bitter about it or anything like that. Definitely congratulations and happy for the people that got picked. But it's just, at the end of the day, it was between me and them, and they got picked. So, that's all motivation.
Now, Joe, he's not holding a grudge or anything, but he picked number 10 because there was 10 receivers taken in front of him. He's not holding a grudge or anything. Not doing that at all.
But you know what, though? That's the type of guy I want to bet on. That is the type of guy. And you know what? You could say he's a Texas Longhorn. He started his career. He's really a dog. Okay? He's a Georgia Bulldog, and he won a natty with the Georgia Bulldogs, not with Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns, okay? He's a great wide receiver, didn't deserve to fall down, and all the gutless scouts and GMs, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you know who you are because you're gutless. You don't watch any tape as it relates to the college game. You wait and rely on a Senior Bowl or a brief interview that you did with the kid, and we did the same thing with C.J. Stroud. Get off your ass and do the homework, otherwise I'll do it for you.
I knew you'd get fired up about that, Joe. That was good to see right there. Donnie Mitchell.
They bashed this kid again, just like
they
Stroud.
Did bash him. You don't like when the kids get bashed.
No, I don't like when the kids get bashed, and the kid's got a medical condition to boot, and they should have a little respect for that.
Yeah, nobody ever does that anymore, Joe. You know that. I'll see you tonight, Joe, on Carver and Lisi, 8 p.m. East on SportsGrid Radio. We have 2 NBA playoff games. We have 2 NHL playoff games. We've got a whole bunch of baseball tonight. PGA Championship this week. We'll be back tomorrow for Golf Wednesday on C2C. We'll have Keith Stewart, Cam Stewart, the whole deal. Great job by everybody today. Game time decisions is next. Coast to coast on the grid. See you tomorrow.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value.